Hi guys, welcome. I hope it's going to be a great class. I love the group coaching dynamic. Hope you're enjoying it too. It's just so much power to it and so much good that comes from it. I want to talk right now about positive tension and how to create positive tension that works well. Now, tension you think of as a bad thing. I want stress release. I want tension release. That's why I want to go to get a massage. And how can it be positive? Well, there's a lot of thinking now in the business and leadership circles that positive tension is a very good thing because it creates a safe way to disrupt and challenge each other that's nobody takes it personally and things get better. I have found so many great conversations come when there's positive tension. So I'm not saying how do we go beyond attuning to positive tension. It's not a beyond. If you ever stop attuning, you're dead. You've got to attune the whole way through the coaching relationship, but add to it positive tension and really good things can happen. So here's some tips how to do that. First, to understand, the function of the attunement is to create the alignment and the trust in the very beginning. You do more attuning in the beginning because there is nothing there to work with, and they don't know if they trust you and they don't want to listen to you, or if someone went into tension and had some kind of a conflict with somebody else, not even a conflict, just a difference, it could blow the whole thing up and you have to repair it because people go, I don't really know you that well, how could you say that? And so how can you even have people disagree with each other unless there's some basis of trust and we like each other set up at first. So you want to attune to them, have them attune to each other so that you can bring in the positive tension secondarily. Now, I'm a big believer in some ground rules that you need to establish at the beginning of a group in order to have a place for positive tension to happen. Ground rules create a structure, and structure creates safety. I always have 4 ground rules. They're very simple. And I write them up on the poster board. First off, be as vulnerable as possible. We're going to be meeting here, and vulnerability, which is being honest about your struggles and weaknesses, do that as much as you can. Secondly, give feedback with respect. If you have something to tell someone, there's some feedback that might be something they haven't thought of or they want to help correct something, give it with respect. But also receive feedback with grace. We're going to try to have a minimization of defensiveness and reaction. Just not sure if I agree with that, but thanks, let me understand it. Let's talk about it some more. If you're going to give feedback, you got to get feedback. And nobody, we're all grown-ups here. Let's don't be afraid of this, but receive it with grace, whether you agree or not, and talk about it. Be solution-focused. We're all going towards solutions here. This is not just kind of exploring the meaning of life here. We've got a job to do, so be solution-focused. And your coach is in charge, and that's me. Everybody laughs when I say that, but I say, well, I'm not trying to be a control freak when I say that. By the way, that was 5 and not 4. I say that because I say, sometimes I'm going to interrupt the flow. My job is to keep things as productive as possible. And if I notice we're going down a way we shouldn't go, this isn't really helping everybody, I'm going to say, let me redirect back, or I might want to interrupt this. If somebody's going down some rabbit trail in their head and I don't feel like they're really getting where they need to go, I'll say, let's change this. So I'm kind of in charge of that flow. And everybody works fine when you say the ground rules, so just get that up there. Now, the timing. How do you know when it's time to create positive tension? Timing is very important. I kind of figured out the space for that. It's when you notice that they're starting to relax, tension, might not be in the first session, might not be in the second session, but they're starting to relax more. They're opening up more, talking about life and kind of kibitzing with each other, and they're becoming more vulnerable. They're really sort of talking about struggle. When you notice relaxing and opening up about just talking, not just sitting there, and becoming more vulnerable, it's probably okay to bring in some positive tension. And a good starter there is just to begin pointing out what I call disconnects as a head scratcher. Disconnects that you observe, and I'll talk to you about what a disconnect is, in a head scratcher way. You're curious. In other words, you start to notice things that don't fit in a way that I just don't understand this. You're not making any kind of opinion about it, a conclusion, no kind of a judgment. I'm wondering about this. And I'll let me give you some examples of this. Now, Spencer, help me here. On one hand, I hear you say that you're all in for the company and you really, really like being here and what it's all about. And on the other hand, you spend a lot of time there just talking about how you doubt that things are working in the company. And help me make sense of that. Now, I just created some positive tension with Spencer and maybe everybody else like, oh my gosh, this is the bad talk. But you're ready to do it. I'm just curious. only maybe 10% of people in the world would take offense to that. The other 90% go, well, that's interesting, let's pursue it. Here's another one. Valerie, when the group agrees with your thoughts, you seem really open and happy, but when Bill challenged you a bit on that, you seem to kind of shut down and go away. Tell me what happened. Positive tension. Other thing is, the first thing you bring up is the source of the problem is outside the room. Bill, every time we talk about the things that go on in life, kind of the first thing that says, can get your attention is, the leadership or, the money or the comp package. We can't do anything about that. I want you to start thinking, what can you do about it? I just create a positive tension. Then get them doing that with each other. You've just done it. And they go, oh, everybody survived here. It didn't go nuclear, and we're kind of like each other. And so you'll say something like, so what he said seems a bit different than what you said. What do you think about that? It is different. Let's talk about it. They probably never could do this in their whole life. Or you're sort of checked out when he was talking. Anything going on? Now you got them in the room. Hey, how can you guys cross swords and challenge each other in a respectful way? You're so careful. You're walking on eggshells. You're what we call fragilizing. How can you cross swords better in a respectful way? Now you've made the positive tension positive, but you've also made it the norm. It's good stuff and it helps. Hey, have a good positive tension class today.